like really, he is one of those solid he's like one of the only solid online players that made a name for himself out of, the thousands of online players. And I was like, it's really cool that, Detroit Ballin is a cool guy. And we kind of got into it at Evo. We were kind of teasing each other in a friendly way, but we were like, once he got out, I was like, I was still in the tournament at that time, and I was like, oh, top 16, or yeah, he made top 16, I think,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
I
did.
was like, oh, how is it over there, out of the tournament already? And he was just like, fuck you, like asshole, and like, but we were just having fun. Like he's a good guy, and he's just one of those online players that he just really wants to get good, and he's not just trying to shit talk. He's trying to, play and get really good, and that's what he did. And now he's like one of those players that he's like what infamous for Shang Tsung, and he's one of those great players, and I wanted to give a shout out to him. And
He's got a really good Cabal too.
yeah, oh, he does. Yeah, we
His
play
Shang
Kabal.
Tsung's really, really good. He's a
Yeah,
super nice guy too.
it sucks because when I play him, he picks Shang Tsung, I pick Cabal, and he could do he does Soul Steel combos.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I'm like, great, you're fucking good with Cabal, so it's like I'm fucked, and it's
Yeah.
just it's a crazy match.
More damage.
Yeah.
Lately, there have been more online players that are coming out and doing well though.
Yeah, and that is a good thing. That's what you should
Yeah.
do. You shouldn't just play online and win and then hide or something and say, "Oh, I'm good. I don't need to go to tournaments or anything." Like you should go to tournaments after and test really like where your skills at and stuff. And that's what I did in the beginning. I was like, I'm just gonna go to tournaments. And honestly, I think that's where I mainly got my skill. Like where I'm at today is because I played online a bit, but then I was like, I'm gonna go to every tournament, and I went to every tournament the first beginning months when the game came out, and I just every time I left a tournament and took the plane back home, it just felt like I gained so much more skill than playing like hours online. Just playing that weekend, I gained like months advanced of skill. It was just crazy. I was like, damn, like it's just so crazy, and tournaments just help so much if you're just willing to put the time into it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
You can 16-bit like I would go up to play 16-bit like every like I don't know like maybe once a month or something like that. And like that short amount of time, like 16-bit would level up hella like in like one day.
Yeah.
I would notice it. It was especially true after that tournament. I blew up 16-bit. And like we went back home and we started playing a game. He was like, "You figured it out." He was like, "You know how to beat Katana. She's terrible."
Oh,
And
that car ride home was brutal.
and I was like, "Dude," and I told him, I was like, "Dude, you got to start using, better anti-air moves. Like
Yeah.
you're too used to online anti-air. You got to do offline anti-air." And he started doing
Yeah.
it, and it was a game changer. Like I was like, "This
Yeah.
fucking sucks."
Yeah,
That loss was one of the
he
best
was
things that's ever happened to me.
16-bit. I noticed at Chicago, he was just one of those players. He would sit down and he was like on the stations like all the time, the whole day. I would go eat. I would go back to the hotel, do whatever. And then when I would come back, he was still on the station. I was like, okay, this guy I got to worry about in this tournament because he's just one of those dedicated players. He takes the time. He just really takes the game really serious. And when you put in the time, it's you just you get good and it just shows it. And 16-bit was one of those players. I knew he was going to get good. It took him a little time. Like I was frustrating him a little bit at UFGT. He was just like, oh, like I can't. Your Ermac, fuck your Ermac, fuck your Cabal. But but I still knew. I was like, okay. He does get frustrated, but I was like, okay, if he does still put in the time that he is right now, like he's going to be really good. And he just blown up like so much. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, you blew me up worse than anyone else ever has.
Oh
Rio,
shit.
Rio, none of those guys have blown me up as bad as you blew me up that weekend.
That's what
It
Disney
was
said
bad.
too. Aaron, I also met Aaron at Chicago, and he was just like, he's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I play you casually, and no one has blew me up as like I wasn't even. He was like, you're not even taking it serious. Like, it's so easy for you. You're like getting flawlesses on me and stuff. Like, I never played someone like this, and I was just like, and he put in the time too. You two at Galloping Ghost were like, in the grand finals on one stream. I didn't get to see it, but I seen
Dizzy
it.
has leveled up. I'm very happy with him.
Yeah, it's
Very good now.
I know his Johnny Cage is really good, and I seen that both you guys were in grand finals, and I was like, awesome. One of the two cool guys I met at Chicago, they they both, still are in the game. They still take it serious, and they're both just leveling up really good. And it just makes me so jealous that in NorCal and on the West Coast, there's nothing, and I see like in the Midwest and East Coast, you guys have all these streams, and I'm just like, it just makes me want to fly down there for like a month or so and just practice. It's just like And a lot of people are like, how did you get good? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. Like, the main thing is you should play with someone that's as good as you, on your level. But I have really no one, so it was just I would just take the time and just practice with the computer and stuff. And I think I was just putting a lot of hours into it, like almost more than anyone. And I was just really dedicated to it. Even though I had no one to play, I was still playing like online or anywhere I could play to just get good.
One thing that struck me about you is that maybe you were just hiding it well, but you never seemed to comprehend the situation you were in. For example, you would play Justin Wong, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, you're playing Justin fucking Wong," and you're just like, "Yeah, it's no big deal." Like, it didn't seem like you had that problem of nerves like most of us have to do.
Yeah, I don't take it as I'm playing the player. Like, I don't, like, even if I was to play you, I'm not gonna go, "Oh my God, I'm playing 16-bit." I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna play Katana. I'm gonna play her this way, how I usually play her. I'm not trying to play the player I'm playing. I'm trying to play the character. And he did pick Kung Lao, and I was like, oh, Kung Lao. But I wasn't like looking like, oh my God, Justin Wong. He's been in the fighting game community for what, 10 plus years. He's done this and this. I didn't think about that. I just was like, oh, I'm playing Kung Lao. And then I just played it. that was it. And you were one of the people that came up to me and you're like, oh my God, like when I won East Coast Throwdown, you were like, what the hell? Like, you've been winning so many tournaments. Like, I would be running around naked right now. And I'm just like, I don't know. To me, it's just.
That would be a sight to see.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, it was just, I just take it as I'm just playing the character. I'm having fun. I don't know. It never hits me really.
That is a huge advantage in tournament play.
Who are the guys in a tournament, like, when you see you've got a face or you're like, fuck, your toughest competition?
Like the player or the character?
The player.
Oh, the player. Well, the tournaments I went to, obviously Rio. I don't see him all that often because he lives in the East Coast. But I don't know. Really, I wasn't afraid of anyone. I don't want to sound cocky, but honestly, when I was playing at East Coast Throwdown, when I was playing at Revelations, I was telling myself in my head, I was like, why are these other players? But I was easily winning, and I was like, why am I easily winning? I shouldn't be easily winning. And I don't know if I just put as good as I thought they would be. Even Justin Wong at UFGT, everyone's like, dude, you're gonna go up against him tomorrow. It kind of did worry me, but once I started playing him, I was like, huh, like he's not what I expected him. I'm having a way easier time than I thought, and I don't know. It's just those first few months were just so damn easy to me. But now
Confidence is the best nerf killer.
That's true. Well, I wasn't even confident though. Before the matches, people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, I gotta play you." Or when I would go to a tournament, people would be like, "Oh, you're gonna win it." It's not even, that's it. We lost. And I would be like, I wasn't confident. I was like, dude, oh man, like I'm probably gonna lose the first match every tournament.
That fucks with your confidence. Yeah, it totally does.
But once I start playing, it's just a whole different thing. Like, I'm not nervous anymore. I'm just playing and I'm just having fun. And once I see like how good the person is or something, I don't know, my confidence just goes up. But honestly, I'm really not confident in any tournament. Like, at Revelations, a lot of people thought I looked sick before I played. Like, I was on the table, and one thing before a tournament, like, I just want the tournament to start. I just want to start my first match because before the tournament, I can't eat or anything. Like, my stomach just doesn't digest anything, so I'm like hungry the whole day, but I can't eat until my first match because it's just something about the nerves before I play. I'm just like, oh my God. But once I pick up the controller and they're like, okay, you got to play, and I sit down, for some reason it goes away, and I'm like, why do they go away now? Why am I always have the jitters when I'm not playing before the match? But like,